What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and of course it's that time again where we take a look at our boy DSP's weekly financial report and we check out how the health of the business is doing. We're checking out if the liquidity is high or whether the business is in the red. This is the show for that, where we gather and get that information and do a quick check on our boy Phil just to make sure that he has enough liquidity for his day off. We know he has to do grocery shopping, pet supply shopping, his meal out with his wife. That's all today. And of course, you know, he probably needs some money for WWE champions and so on. So big ups to Piece of Peace and the tip tracker. I know that there was some super chat information that's not populated yet. So what I ended up doing was I went to Twitter and I follow a gentleman named Gamerface Gaming. He does a daily post of what Phil made. He shows memberships, super chats, tips, kind of all that information in a nice little thumbnail or a picture just like this. And it's pretty accurate. It's pretty spot on. I usually compare it to Piece of Peace stuff, and it's spot on. So big ups Gameface or Gaming for putting that information out there. So yeah, I was able to get what I needed. So I essentially just copied everything over into a spreadsheet because, you know, your boy Duty is old, and when there's just too much information, his eyes glaze over. As you can see here, I highlighted the stuff in red that I grabbed from Gamerface Gaming, and I just made it in red just to kind of notate where I received that information from. So, and I checked a few. I went and I looked at some of DSP streams. And yeah, it looks accurate, so I'm gonna go with it. All right, but just a notation that I am putting it in red for that period. So if you guys want to take a look here for the week starting on, for the streaming business week that started on March 9th, our boy that went from March 9th all the way through March 14th, which is 6 streaming days. Our boy Phil accumulated a total of $988 in tips, which is kind of low for him. And then for super chats, he brought in $267 total, which that's low too, for a grand total of $1,255 for the week. And again, folks, like I always preface, this is simply just super chats and super tips that he received for his streaming week for the 6 days. So those are the totals. So of course, if you want to average that out, which I like to do, if you simply just take the total amount for the week and you divide that by 6 streaming days, our boy Phil pulled in $164.66. That's how much he made on average per day for tips. And then for super chats, if you do the same thing, let's see, 267 divided by 6. That comes out to $44.50 per day. That's what Phil made average per day, which isn't bad at all, folks. I mean, you know, for what he does and the effort he puts out, he should be grateful that people would be willing to actually give him this kind of money. I don't know why, but people do. So if you combine that in total, he averaged about, well, if you round up, why not? It's only a couple pennies. Phil made $210. He averaged $210 per day. That's not bad, Phil. That is not bad at all for sitting on your ass and playing video games. So you really don't have to complain. So I think I'm safe to say that Phil had enough liquidity in the tips to be able to go grocery shopping, pet supply shopping, and take out his wife out for a nice meal. Or I doubt that they go out. I can't tell you the last time they actually went out. I'm pretty sure they're just going to DoorDash breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, but still, even with the exorbitant cost of DoorDash, Phil still has enough, you know, for his day off. Now, let's look at the more critical point here. So, if we want to take a look at what Phil has received for the year 2023 so far. So, yep, it's all the way through March 14th, and we are going to go all the way back to January 1st. And as you can see, Phil pulled in, let's see, he streamed a total of 63 days. That's not bad, 63 days. Okay, so, Phil pulled in a whopping $10,847 in tips in for 63 days of streaming. That comes out to $172 per day. That's his average. That's what he averages per day, every single day, $172. If you look at his super chats, he's pulled in $4,313, and then you divide that by 63. He averages $84. Oops, hold on. Bill averaged he averaged $68 per day. And let me double check that just to make sure. Divide 63. Yes, he made $68. Okay. And then if you do the grand total of $14,989. Now remember, this is his total combined super chat and tips for the 3 months. So essentially January, February, and March, right? He has averaged about $238. Let's just round it up. Let's make it a pretty number. So Phil's been averaging $238 per day in super chats and tips. Now that's not bad. It's pretty good, right? But the issue that we are having here is comparing it to the previous year, as you can see here. So real quick, let me just take this number quick and divide it. He is down. Wow. Boy, Phil, not having a good time. Okay. Alright. Let me just need this anymore. Delete. Okay. So, if you take those numbers for 2023, which doesn't sound bad at all. I mean, it sounds pretty good. But you compare it to where he was last year, wow, it was a huge dip. So again, this year so far for tips, he's made $10,847. Last year at the same time, for the same amount of days, he made $14,939. So he is down 27.4% from year over year. So he's made 27.4% less in 2023 than he did in 2022 for tips. Now, if we look at our super chats, last year he made $6,398 for that period. And this year, of course, he's only made $4,313. So he is down negative 32.6% for super chats. Now, if you look at the grand total, last year he made $21,338. This year, for the same period, he's only made $14,989. And I hate saying only because that's a good amount of money. But he only made $14,989, which is 30% less than what he made last year for the same period. That's significant. For someone like Phil who lives tip to tip, not day to day, not paycheck to paycheck, he lives tip to tip. That's huge. 30% is a big number. And if you think about what he pulls in a year, Phil averages, let's just say maybe if he averages 100K in tips and super chats, which is the bulk of his money, right? And you knock off 30%, I mean, we're talking nearly a $30,000 drop if this keeps happening. So, that's significant, especially for someone that has 87 bills per week. That's gonna get tough, and we know Phil needs that liquidity, especially his tips. And he's about $4,000. He's a little over $4,000 in behind from where he was last year. And so when you think about Phil and when he talks about how great he's doing, and how the business is awesome, and how DSPReact is exploding and being great and just pumping in that money, don't buy it. Don't buy it. I mean, even before DSPReact was a thing, he was hemorrhaging tips and super chats, and then I think it just escalated, because I think the last time I did this, the overall total, I think he was down like 27%. in total from this year to last year. He's down 30%. So he's dropped another 3%. Another 3% in super chats and tips as soon as DSP React came. And it has. I mean, if you look at his DSP Reacts, and he does that one show on Friday where, you know, he reacts to the internet or whatever the hell he calls it. Other than the first day he did it, which I think he made $100 or something like that for that day, for that stream, it hasn't been pulling in numbers at all, money or views. And then his viewership is pretty hard as well. I mean, and the thing is too, is that it's sort of pulling away content from DSP Gaming, which could be another reason why he's not bringing in the tips and the super chats. And the one thing we notice is that he's not streaming games as much as he used to. So, yeah, I think our boy DSP has to reconsider the business model and make some changes. I've said it before. This is going to be an experiment that Phil likes to call. It may go to the end of the year or around October, November. And I think he's going to come back. He's going to look and see that it was a bit of a failure. And he's going to come back and say, it was awesome. It was great. But my viewers want me to have a one-stop shop for my content. They don't want to go to two places. They don't want to go to DSP Reacts, and then they don't want to go to, you know, DSP Gaming for something different. And they don't want to pay 2 memberships. So I'm hearing you folks, and I am declaring that, you know, DSP Reacts will be terminated or removed or whatever he wants to call it, defunct. And then, you know, whenever he comes up with another grand idea, he'll repurpose that channel and the subscriptions on it and try to milk it for something else. I've been saying it for years, Phil, you should do your own clip show. And I mean, you even admitted to yourself that the clips are what kills your views in your channel. So if you had your own clip channel or your own clip videos, you may do pretty good with that. I mean, anyway, that's for a different video. Anyway, that's all I gotta say, folks. I think DSP Gaming is borderline. You know, it's kind of like the banks nowadays. He's gonna need some cash infusion soon. If not, our boy Phil may have to think the unthinkable and actually get a part-time job. Oh my lord. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the content. Peace out.